In this lesson, I will show you how to create a retargeting list, which is the next thing you have to do after you installed a retargeting pixel. So log in into your Facebook Ads Manager, then click on Tools right here, then select Audiences from the dropdown. Then click on Create Audience, on Custom Audience, then on Website Traffic. So you want to create a list of people who visit your website or view specific web pages. Perfect. So it's time to customize the retargeting pixel. Now again, I'll show you the basic process, how to customize it. Completely depends on the strategy, the retargeting strategy you want to deploy. So once we dive deep into retargeting strategies, I will show you exactly how to customize the retargeting pixel. But now I just really want to show you the basic concept. So first of all, you'll see the name of your retargeting pixel. Make sure there's a green dot right next to it. That means that your retargeting pixel works. If it's red, then it means that the retargeting pixel is broken. So you've got to fix it. And the best way to fix a retargeting pixel is to reinstall it, okay? Then, website traffic. This is a pretty important section. As you can see, you have 5 different options. You can create a retargeting list that captures anyone who visits your website, then people who visit specific web pages on your website, people visiting specific web pages but not others, people who haven't visited in a certain amount of time, and then there are some more advanced custom combinations that you will not really use. So let's take a closer look at each and every option. The first one is pretty intuitive, right? So if you select this option, then you will create a list that captures every visitor of your website. It's already pretty specific, but you can get even more specific by selecting the second option, which is people who visit specific web pages. So you could say, hey, I just want to capture visitors who've been to my online shop, or who read a particular article, or who have been to the Twitter marketing section on my blog, okay? So basically with the second section, you can reach out to a more specific set of your website visitors, okay? So you're just really targeting a very specific group of people. Then people visiting specific web pages but not others. Well, if you want to drive traffic to your website, this is not such a common option, but just to make sure that you understand what it is all about. Well, if you work with funnel structures, so let's say you are driving traffic to a squeeze page. Typically, if a person opts in, that person gets automatically forwarded to a thank you page, right? So you've got the squeeze page where you ask that person to provide his email address, and then you've got the thank you page where you say, hey, thanks for your opt-in. Now, what you could do with retargeting if you build a list, you could say, hey, there's apparently a certain group of people who doesn't opt in, okay? Like 60 or 50% if your squeeze page is well optimized. Now, if you don't want to waste that traffic, what you could do is create a retargeting list that captures all the people who made it to a squeeze page but not to the thank you page, meaning you capture all the people who didn't opt in. And then you can either send them back to the very same squeeze page, or you can send them to a new offer, okay? So if you build a list, this option is pretty predominant, and you will use it virtually each and every time when you work with retargeting, and if you use retargeting to build a giant email list. But again, it's not so important. I just wanted to cover it. Then people who haven't visited in a certain amount of time. This is great for bloggers. So if you have an email list in place, and if you post content on a regular basis, and you see that, hey, there is a certain group of people who's just not responding to my messages, to my emails, well, then you can reactivate those email subscribers who are kind of inactive, or the people who have been your visitors in the past but who just stopped visiting for whatever reason, okay? For the sake of simplicity, we'll just go ahead and select the first option, and then just go ahead and select the website. Perfect. The next step is to customize the retargeting list size. Now, you can define the number of days people will remain in your audience after they visit your website. So you can set it to 1 day or even up to 180 days, right? If you drive traffic, what's pretty common is to set it to like 180 days if you are not receiving so much traffic, like 1,000-2,000 visitors a month. If you're getting more traffic and if you want to keep your retargeting list a little bit more recent, I recommend to set it to something like 30 days. If you're really getting a ton of traffic and you really want to keep it super recent, then set it to 10 days, okay? But typically you will set it to something between 30 or 180 days. And last but not least, just create an audience name. Make sure to select something very descriptive. And if you're done, just click on create audience. Then you will have to wait a couple of minutes if you want to include past website traffic. If you don't want to include past website traffic and just create a brand new retargeting list, well, then you will just have to wait a couple of hours or a couple of days, depending on the traffic volume, until a few visitors get added onto your retargeting list, and then you can just go ahead and use that retargeting list to create ad campaigns. And how to create campaigns and how to use that retargeting list in the ad creation process, that's something we'll cover later. However, what's important now that you really understand the basic steps that you have to take each and every time when you create a retargeting list. So you have to specify the website traffic section, then you'll have to enter some URLs here, and you have to define the size of your retargeting list. You have to specify the audience name, and if you're done, just click on create audience, and that's the way how to create a retargeting list in basically less than 5 minutes.